If I put down, is it work?
It's all right. We started. Today, for my oral history interview, I will be interviewing my grandmother, Kathy Benton. How are you doing today?
I'm doing real good, and it's stir crazy from this being quarantined right now, but I'm doing good. And you?
Good. So yeah, I am too. It's crazy. Well, so for this interview, I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your past. Is that okay?
Okay. That'll be okay,
All
not
right.
too hard. Okay.
Okay. So tell me about an event, globally, nationally, or personally, that has impacted your life in an important way.
Well, one thing that comes to mind right away is when our President Kennedy was shot, and I was a young girl, and I was in the Navy, and that was very, very important in a time of the year. But it was such a shock that something would happen like that in my time, and it was just really a shock to me and to a lot of people. But I remember I had one out of the office, and there was this one of the sailors was out there, and I had said hi to him. He said hi. He said, Kathy, he said, I just found out that President Kennedy was shot. I heard it on the radio. And I said, come on, don't be messing around like that. I said, we mess around enough. Don't be messing around like that. He said, I'm not kidding. He said, I heard it, and I heard he was shot in the head. And I thought, okay, Riley. So I went back into the office, and I had saw one of the lieutenants. And I had said to him, I said, Riley says that President Kennedy was shot. And I said, I don't know what to think of that. And he looked at me and he said, you know what? He says, I'm going out there and see what's going on. He said, this kind of thing is not to be made jokes of. So he went out, and he wasn't out there very long. And he came back in and he said, he's right. Our president was just shot. And the office shut down. Everything shut down. And we got a little television, and we had it put in the office. And we just stood there and watched. And they took him in to operate, and then he came out. The doctor had come out and said that our president had died. That was terrible. I mean, everything shut down, the whole base and everything, because we didn't know what was going to happen. We were really, it really scared us a little bit. It's like, we don't have a president. What's going to happen to our country? But we didn't realize that in the meantime, they were swearing President Truman in already. Not Truman, Johnson. No, Johnson. They were swearing him in on an airplane. And, but we didn't realize that. And just everything shut down. So you
mentioned that you were in the military at the time. How did you said they shut down everything, but was there any other type of response from the military?
Well, yeah, there was a lot of responses that I didn't know about, because, I was just a seaman. I didn't know what was going on. But we had to go we had to wear our uniforms if we went off a base. We used to be able to go in civilian clothes off a base and stuff. We had to and we had to be on alert. They closed the base down because so much stuff was going on, and we watched television to see what was going on, and we didn't know who had killed him or anything. They were looking for him at that time. So the military, I'm sure a lot of things was going on that I didn't even, like President Johnson was being sworn in, and we didn't realize this, that they had to swear him in. They had to get a president in our country. So that's my view of it. But I'm sure there was a lot more that I don't even have any idea.
Yeah. You said you're in what rank did you hold? You said you were a seaman. Is that a rank?
Well, yeah, it's a rate. It's a I was when I left the service, I was a seaman, storekeeper seaman, because I worked in supplies. So that was what they called was a supply storekeeper, you know. So I was a storekeeper seaman. I had made third class, but I got out just before I was able to put my thing on my sleeve. But yeah, I got out just before that.
And can you tell me a little about boot camp and what that was like?
Boot camp. That was scary because I had graduated from high school and I went right into the service. And it was scary. Boy, oh boy, you didn't dare move wrong. You had to make your beds just so. They had these barrack inspections, and they would inspect your clothes. You had to have your buttons on your uniforms in a certain way, and if you had any makeup or anything on your caps, you got in trouble. And, but I mean, I knew I was going to make it because I figured when I went in there, I went in for 3 years, and I thought, you're signing up for this, and you're staying the whole time. But I'm glad I did. But that was it. You had to get up in the morning and march here and march there. And then we had classes we went to, and we had exercise things, and we had to swim. You had to swim the length of the pool. And we had one girl that flunked out because she was scared of the water. And I thought, why would she join the Navy if she was afraid of the water? But that's the way it is. That's the way she did. And then we had classes on the ships and the aircrafts and the different things and the ranks, to recognize the ranks and the different things. And it was like school, really, but a little bit more strict. I listened better in the Navy than I did when I was in school.
What age did you want to join the military? Or I'm sorry, what made you want to join the military?
I don't know. Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to join the military. I just wanted to go when we would be playing. A bunch of us would be playing, you know, and I'd say, I'm going to join the Army when I grow up because I'm going to defend our country. And that always just stuck with me. Of course, I didn't go in the Army, you know, I went in the Navy, and I love the Navy.
What are some other memories do you have about the military, the Navy?
Well, there was a lot of good memories, things that we did, things that we went, but one of them, I remember when we had the Cuban crisis. That was before President Kennedy was shot, and that was about a year before he was shot. And that was pretty scary because, you know, Cuba had to commit, and then missiles over there, Russia had put missiles in Cuba, and Kennedy had to show him who was boss. He put that blockade around there and said, you know what, you better get those missiles out of there. And they did. They got them out, but we didn't know what was going to happen. So that was one of them. There's a lot of things. Those are the two that...
Would you say your experience in the military, what's like the overall impact that it had? Was it positive, negative, kind of?
I would say it was positive. It was positive because, I don't know, I just, can't explain that part, but it was just positive. It was a good experience. So.
Good. Time. This interview was very interesting, and I look forward to coming over after all this quarantine is.
Yeah, I miss you. I miss all of you. So, okay.
We miss you too.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye.